Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community in 7 Questions with Emmy.
Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. Today I'm talking with Brian Crane, the guy behind the Pickles comic strip. It was first published in 1990 and now it appears in 1,000 newspapers nationwide. Brian was born here in Idaho and I'm so excited to talk with him. Thank you for talking with me today, Brian.
Well, thank you. It's really an honor to speak with you.
I love your Pickles comics.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really nice.
You're welcome. Where did you come up with the name Pickles for your comic strip?
Well, that's kind of a hard decision to make when you're naming your comic strip, and I didn't really know what to call it. So I just was looking for some kind of a funny name for my characters, and I gave them the last name of Pickles, so it's Earl and Opal Pickles, and so I just decided to use Pickles as the last name. And I don't know if it's a good name or not, but that's what I've ended up with.
All we know is it's a funny name.
Well, thanks.
Question number 2. Tell me about Opal and Earl.
Well, Opal and Earl are a grandmother and grandfather. They've been married for over 50 years, so they've been married a long time. Mm-hmm. And when I first started the comic strip, I was in my 30s. I was a young man. And so I had to kind of imagine what it would be like to be an old person to write the comic strip. But now I'm 72, so I'm an old man myself. So it's a lot easier because I can just write about my own experiences.
How did you get major newspapers to publish your comic strip and keep publishing it after all these years?
What most people do is when they start a comic strip, they send samples of the comic strip into newspaper syndicates. These are like the companies that can be the salesman for your work, and they take it around to newspapers and try to get the editors to add your comic strip to the newspapers. So I sent my work to several different syndicates, and eventually the Washington Post syndicate offered me a contract, and they began selling my strip to newspapers. When we first started, we had 24 newspapers that signed up, and so it was a long struggle to get to the point where we're in 1,000 papers now, but that's how it all happened, was just with a lot of hard work.
I see you have a comic strip hanged up behind you framed.
Yeah, that's a strip by Charles Schulz, a peanut strip that he gave me.
I like peanuts.
Yeah, we all like Peanuts. He's the best.
Yeah.
And I got the privilege of actually meeting him, and that was really great. He's a very famous man, but he's also very kind to people and helps out a lot of young cartoonists getting started.
How do you come up with ideas for a new comic every single day?
Wow, well, that's the hardest part of doing a comic strip. The drawing part is probably not as hard as thinking of ideas every day. That's what really is hard. Some cartoonists have writers that work with them. One guy does the writing and another guy does the cartooning. But I just do both of them. I like to write and I like to draw, so I do both. And the ideas that I get mostly are just by being observant, being a listener. I listen to what people say and do, and sometimes I'll hear something that sounds kind of funny to me. And oftentimes I have to make it a little funnier by exaggerating it a little bit and changing the words to add some humor to it. But I just have a lot of ideas come from my family. I have 7 children and 21 grandchildren, so that gives me a lot of ideas.
My favorite Earl and Opal comic one is when Earl, he's chewing on the pen and his mustache turns blue.
Well, that's an idea that came from myself. I was sucking on a pen one time and I didn't have a mustache, but I got my lips all blue. So with Earl, I made it his mustache. But see, I think the ideas that come from real life are the ones that people relate to the most. Yeah.
Question number 5. Do you have a favorite comic you've created?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. It's kind of like asking a mom or dad, which of their children is their favorite, you know. But I knew you were going to ask that, so I found one that I really like, but I'll show it to you. And it's not, I didn't mean for it to be really funny, but it has a nice message. So I'll show it to you and see if you can read it. Let's see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
In the top, it says, when I was your age, all my heroes were cowboys. Hopalong Cassidy, Red Ryder, Roy Rogers, the Lone Ranger, Gene Autry. And then it says, now they're all gone. And the grandson says, who are your heroes now? And he says, anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others.
I've read
So I thought that was a good message.
before.
You read that one? Oh,
I've read,
cool.
all of them. I just scroll through them and read them all.
Oh, that's really special.
I love you.
Most of my readers are a lot older than you, I think, but it's nice to have a young reader like you, too.
Question number 6. What do you like to do when you aren't drawing or writing?
Well, when I'm not drawing or writing, what I like to do is to travel. We haven't been able to travel a lot this year because of the pandemic, but my wife and I like to travel around and see things.
Travel too.
Do you?
Go to Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas. Well, that's in the state where I live. We're up in Reno, a little bit higher than Las Vegas, but
Maybe I could come see you there next time we go.
we'd love that.
After the whole pandemic thing is over.
Yes, you're welcome to come and I'll draw you a picture.
Yeah. Question number 7. What have you learned over the years doing your comic strip?
Well, I think the most important thing I learned is to believe in yourself. You know, when I was your age, I had a dream of being a comic strip artist. But when I got older and started thinking about a career, I thought that I didn't have enough talent to become one. So I waited until I was almost 40 years old to try to do my childhood dream. And I wish I had started earlier and had more belief in myself. So I think it's really important to believe in yourself and in your abilities, not give up before you even try. And the other thing I think is to look for the humor in life. There's so many people that are looking for reasons to be sad or mad. I think life is a lot better if you can look for the funny side of life. And that's what I try to show people in my comic strip.
Now it's time for some bonus questions.
Oh, bonus
Are
questions.
you ready, Brian?
I'm ready.
My favorite kind of pickle is dill pickles. Do you like dill or sweet better?
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I'm not a big fan of pickles, but that sounds strange, doesn't it, from someone who writes the pickle? But I think between the two, I'd rather have a dill pickle than a sweet pickle.
Yeah, I don't really like sweet pickles.
Me neither.
What was your favorite part about growing up in Idaho?
I love the outdoors. There was a lot of fun things to do outside. There were rivers that we'd go rafting on and fishing. My dad would take me fishing. And we had some really good friends there. And I liked to play in the snow when I was a kid. And we had a lot of snow there.
We have a lot of snow here.
Do you? We don't get it here in Reno very much, so I don't. But I kind of glad to be out of the snow now because it's. I don't like having to shovel it too much.
I like to go catching crawfish at the.
Oh, really?
There's a lake down by a little area that has like sand, and me and my friends like to go catch crawfish.
What do you do with them after you catch them?
Sometimes we throw them back. Sometimes we catch crabs, and sometimes we just like to put them in tanks and watch them and for however long they live. One lasted up to 3 days.
Wow. Well, maybe you'll have a career as a entomologist, someone who studies insects or fish or birds or animals.
I think I want to be a journalist though.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you have a good talent for journalism, so that's a good choice.
Do you have any advice for me?
Well, follow your dreams, I think, study hard, be kind to other people, and show an interest in them. And, a good journalist is really interested in the people that they talk to. And people can tell if you're interested in them. I can tell you're interested in me, and that makes me feel good. So I think that's what will make you a good journalist.
Thank you so much for talking with me today, Brian.
Well, I'm so happy to do so, Emmy. You're really a good person to talk to. I enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.